Hello, this is Ken Ferrie with this week's Boots in the Field report. A lot of areas received some nice rain amounts this week, hearing anywhere from 2 to 5 inches. This will help knock off some of the leaves on those beans and move them along a little quicker. It'll be a big help for the cover crop seed that we've flown in the last month. The boys here were able to get our biostrip cover plots planted with that moisture so we can get them off and running. In many areas, though, the rain has brought harvest to a halt. These fields are just a little too slick, especially to the north. Growers are continuing to clean up the hybrids that are coming apart, and it sounds like everyone is keeping up with the harvest on those suspect hybrids. That's good. Bean harvest is still kind of sluggish around here, but I think that'll change next week. Plot harvest continues to drone on this week. We got results in from our Fix Flex plot up at Rhinebeck, Iowa. That plot had 18 hybrids in it. The 24,000 planted population ranged from 195 to 264. That's just amazing to me to see how much these hybrids today can stretch out. 264 bushel on a 24,000 planted population. On the 36,000 side of the plot, yields ran from 216 to 253. So in the higher population, some varieties were up to 37 bushel better at 36 than they were at 24,000, while others were 27 bushel less at 36,000 than 24,000. Of the 18 hybrids in that plot, 9 of them cash flowed better at 24,000. We'll take a deep dive into these plots when we do the hand harvest in November, so we can get that prepared for your hybrid yearbook. This week I had a couple of different conversations with growers as they compared hybrids and yield swings they were seeing in the monitor this fall, as well as frustration on how far off the monitor is on certain hybrids when the growers are taking out variety plots and comparing the monitor to the scale weights on what they thought was a well-calibrated combine. This is the reason why we run 2 scale carts here at Crop Tech all fall long. Yield monitors are great tools, but they have their limits. Let's take a look at Matt's hybrid plot that he took out over at Quincy with a calibrated combine. Total percent error of all the weights in the plot is right at 1%. This is pretty good or pretty accurate. Anything under 3% I would consider to be excellent. But when you look at the individual variety weights, the monitor ranged from 10% higher than the scale for hybrid A to 6% under the scale for hybrid B. By monitor weights, hybrid A is 15 bushel better than hybrid B, but when you scale the weights, hybrid B is 18 bushel better than hybrid A. Now these are the extremes in this plot, but is the exact reason you need a scale cart to back up monitors when you're doing any type of plot work. Calibrated monitors usually do a good job of telling you where the yield is changing in a field within a hybrid, but they may not tell you exactly how one hybrid is yielding against another. One grower asked this week, can we compare hybrids to soil types and zones for him this fall to see which hybrids are doing the best in each soil type? The answer is yes. We can run those queries for you and have them ready for your yield map meetings. But there are some things you must do to make them meaningful. First, are the varieties correctly labeled in your monitor on every field? Next, when you're in that variety harvesting, start a new load on the monitor and get a scale cart weight or semi-weight of that variety. Then don't forget to move to another load in the monitor when you finish. When you send in your yield map data, send in those weights as well as tell us which loads they correspond to. Our crew will go in and scale that load to an actual weight and use that data to scale that variety to a more accurate yield. Once we have the variety scaled, we can then scale the total field to your settlement sheet. This will give you a more accurate feel for how these varieties yielded by soil type. If variety A and B from Matt's plot were in the same field, with variety A reading 15 bushel higher than it actually yielded, and variety B actually yielding 18 bushel higher than the monitor, and your settlement sheet shows the yields are off 10 bushel, maybe the settlement sheet says yield should be 10 bushel higher than the yield monitor, and you want us to scale to the settlement sheet, you would have correct bushels for your inventory purposes, but your hybrid selection purposes, you'd make the wrong conclusion. Don't forget to do this scaling. We need the weighed loads to be on their own loads in the monitor so we can pick them out in our software to scale them up. I know if this seems confusing, just call the office and we'll walk you through it. Scouts, continue to do the push test as the season grinds on, and combine operators, keep checking for harvest loss. This should be done at least once a day, if not for each hybrid or bean variety that you're combining. After you use your harvest squares enough, checking for loss, you'll get a good feel for it. You'll be able to walk behind that combine and decide if your loss is too high. Soil testing crews are staying up with the combine, so keep calling them in. I am getting more and more reports of quarries running out of lime, so don't take that for granted. If the lime is not dumped already, check on the availability of it. Plot partners, give us as much notice as possible so the research team can plan ahead. To stay up to date, check out our website at croptechinc.com and subscribe to our podcast, Boots in the Field Report. Keep her safe, keep her moving.